Where do you think it's all headed? Where do you think this evolving Christianity, where do you think it's all headed?
I have no idea, which I know you know that. And I know you know that I really don't know. So I know you're asking, okay, after that, after you can assume that you don't know where it's going, do you still have any thoughts on that? But I do always start with my general disinterest in the world of future prognosticating. Like I just have no idea, and I spend very little time thinking or being worried about it. But I'll say this: um, I'm increasingly concerned for American society, and increasingly concerned that we are further and further siloing ourselves and isolating ourselves into our corners with our own news outlets, with our own personalities, with our own versions of what is true, with our own facts, um, and more so unable to talk to people on the other side, and even more so unable to listen. So that's got me real concerned, and that has an obvious overlaying effect into the world of church. So whereas I would like to say, oh, I think that churches will go down this trajectory, the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. I feel like the church will sort of move towards this more inclusive, expansive view of the kingdom of God. There is a part of me that's like, if our society at large can't figure that out, I don't know that the churches are going to figure it out either. I think churches might be also moving into these more and more siloed versions.
Mhm.
And I don't love that. And I think, yeah, so my wife and I started our church just over 7 years ago. And within that time, I know a good number of churches that have started and then closed within this progressive Christian church space, because it is really freaking hard,
Yeah.
for all sorts of reasons. And I think we need, I don't know, man. I think we need leaders who are not willing to weather the storm. That's not fair. You know how in the recovery community, or at least I have tangential awareness, in the recovery community, the model is, as I understand it, as you're working the program and working the steps, once you get a little bit down the road, you turn around and you just help those who are just a little bit behind you. You don't ever like graduate out and then like, okay, cool, I'm recovered, I'm good to go. I wish the best for all. No, you stay in the okay. So I
You
feel like
always work the program. You're
you
always,
work the program and you're always sort of helping the people who are just a little bit behind you.
yes.
Um, I feel like within our progressive Christian movements, and there are a plurality of them, I feel like we need to embrace that model, because so many people come through churches like ours and they receive much needed liberation from really crappy theology. They receive permission to think and believe whatever they want because it doesn't actually affect their status as a loved child of God. And they get messages like, you know what, you don't actually have to go to church. Did you know that? You don't have to. You really don't, and you're going to be okay. And eventually they start to like take you up on that. Like, oh, okay, I'm good. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for the year of safe landing place that you provided for me. I think I'm out. And I don't begrudge that. I think that's totally fine. And if everybody does that, then we're going to have no churches left
Yeah.
that are going to be open to hold. We're just going to have people that are continually launching out of these conservative, because that's going to keep happening. People are going to keep leaving the evangelical church world, and they need soft landing places. So I think the communities like ours, David, need people who are willing to say, you know what? I actually am good now. I'm good. I know that I don't need to go to church, but I want to stick around and invest in this community to ensure that those who are behind me will have the same chance at healing and wholeness that I did. That's what we need. So if the progressive church is going to have any hope for the future, we need people who have found that liberation and that freedom, and then see the value in letting or making sure that other people get to have that same experience, not just being like, I'm good, I'm out. I don't want to go to church anymore. I'm kind of over the whole thing. Totally. I get it. Sometimes I'm over the whole thing too, but there's too many people that need spaces like Sparrow and Sojourn, to stick around, invest, show up.
Yeah, and I think to your point, your point at the top of this question, I agree too. Tribalism is alive and well, isn't it? And one of the concerns I even have with our evolving movement is that we then get tribal. We just switch one form of tribalism for another. So I share that same concern. And to your latter point that you eloquently just, the relational aspect of it, I think what I still hold to is the essence of the human heart, even the spiritual heart, is to attach relationally. That one of the things we have to leave is that our faith is, now we have a new series of ideas. And so you've enlightened me with new ideas, so I'm good. Or you freed me from my old ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I still think the human psychology is the deep spirituality of it, which is we thrive by attaching to each other. And when I think of Christ's command, I hear that in attachment sense. So Jesus, what's the most important thing when it comes to life, God, spirituality? And he goes, it's about being attached. You to have a deep attachment through love with the God who cares about you. It's having a deep attachment to other people. This is the essence of who we are. And it's having a deep attachment to yourself.
Yeah.
Now, I realize people go, well, I have that, David. I don't need Sparrow Day or Sojourns. And to your point and mine, we not only do we not begrudge them, we go, well, we can't disagree, especially if the communities you found are much safer than this spiritual one or this religious one. But man, if we can create this continued sense of what we attach to, which is God and each other, then I hope we have a shot, unless we get reverse fundamentalist, unless we get reverse tribalistic, then we just offer the same shallow version, another dogma, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes.